Hello everyone, I'm Regina Roja, if you haven't guessed that. First of all, I appreciate your patience. I know that there's been a lot of delays. I was brought on at the last minute during the Christmas holidays when IT was out of town, and so it has taken a little bit of time for us to get everything up and running. But I did have a chance to look at everybody's assignments from last week, and I wanted to go over that. Assignment told me two things. Homework to me is just a way for me to see how we're doing, see where we stand, see what we can work on. And the assignments that I saw are they told me two things. Number one, that you do have a grasp of what we're doing, but it also told me that I believe there's some help I can give you on the execution of the assignment that is going to cut down on those minor, what you would call careless errors. So I'm going to show you how I do it. You know, I don't have an answer key. I have to do the assignment, the same assignment you do myself, and to come up with my answer key to grade yours. So I'm going to show you how I do it, how I do every assignment. I think a lot of you, I say a lot of you, I know there are only two in this class, but collectively, students, they view visual aids and certain tools as crutches that they shouldn't need at this point in the game and so forth. Nay, nay, nay. Let me just tell you right now, I have been in music theory, working in music theory, either as a pianist, having to do transpositions, trying to modulate, trying to correct something, whatever it is. There are some tools I keep at my disposal because, number one, when you're a student or a professional or whatever you are, a lot of times your brain is taxed some of the time, and you can't think clearly, and it's hard to keep things straight in your mind. So, or maybe you're doing it in a car ride. You're on a trip. You go, I think I'll work on my homework. You don't have a keyboard in front of you. You don't have anything. You're having to do it all in your head. So let me show you what I have and what I do. And if you'll follow these steps, I believe you will cut way down on your errors. And it's especially going to be important for this particular exercise we just did, because when we go to next week, we're going to spend an extra week on Neapolitans, just because there's another step involved that if you have mistakes in that first step, it's going to just blow you to pieces and you won't be able to complete the second step. So in the first module, I uploaded you some tools, and one of them is this one. This here, this is one of my lifelines, because if I am on the road or something, or just away from a keyboard, and I'm doing a theory assignment. I've done theory assignments sitting in the fellowship hall waiting for a social or something to start. I would have it out and be working. I don't have a keyboard in front of me. So anything that's going to involve counting up half steps, and especially with these Neapolitans are pretty straightforward. I give you the key of C, you build me a triad on D flat, F, A flat, big deal, right? But in those cases where your key, the tonic note, has a flat on it, you go up a half step. Now you're working in double flats and stuff like that is just hard to keep track without some help. So this, number one, I uploaded that in module 1. I encourage you to print that, have a copy on your wall, have a copy in your textbook, carry it everywhere you go. You will find this to be very valuable and helpful when you are trying to count. And I'll show you right now. I'm going to show you how we did this, and you'll understand the value of this. The second thing, the music theorist's best friend is a piece of staff paper. Just blank You can see mine have been thrown around and used. I use mine all the time, okay? Because it's just like in algebra or something where you have to do a long equation and you have a place to write the answer, but you have to have a scratch paper to do all your work on, and they'll say, show your work. This is when you have so many steps involved, like you will eventually in resolving the Neapolitan chords, you really need that scratch pad. So now I've also uploaded some into Module 1. So I think, I don't know, I may have done the 12 staff paper. If you don't have an opportunity to get over to the store and buy some, and actually, let me make sure I'm recording. Yeah, I am. Okay. Had a blonde moment. I was afraid I wasn't recording. If you don't have a chance to go to Dothan or something and get you another, you ran out of staff paper, download it off your Module 1 and print it. These are free downloads, so we're not breaking any laws. Just download and print those and use those. But have you a pencil? I use mechanical pencils, I think number 7 is what I like to use because it's thick and dark enough, and a good strong eraser. Those are essential tools for the job, okay, as you're about to see. Now, I picked 2 of the examples of the Neapolitans that both of you both of you did not execute 100% correctly. Let's just say it like that. So I'm going to do one for you right now, and I'm going to show you how I do it as a music theorist who has been in this business for over 100 years, So here's first thing I do. I bring out my trusty sheet of staff paper. Here's mine right here. All right, and let's say I gave you treble clef. Let's say we're in the key of A flat. So B, E, A, D. We're in the key of A flat. No, what did I just say we were in? I'm sorry. We're going to do A flat. So we go one extra flat, so we know we're in the key of A flat here. Okay. So I'm going to leave you room for the Neapolitan, and we got the 1. So our 1 is here. It's an A flat, we can tell from the key signature. First thing I do, always, is transfer any flats from that key signature over so I don't forget, because I have ADD, I'm neurodivergent. I will get distracted and I'll look and I'll go, oh, that's an A. If I don't have that flat there, I may forget. Don't worry about repeating that flat. Just go ahead and put it. That way, somebody rings your doorbell or whatever, and you come back, oh, okay, I was at the A flat. You won't worry about that. Okay? I do that all the time. I just go ahead. The key signature just tells you what you need or what you're working with. But I go ahead and just put it over there. It won't hurt anything, right? All right, now this is my tool, A flat. That's my starting point right here. So for my Neapolitan, I want to go up a half step. So I'm at the A flat. Half step up is an A. But the Neapolitan is, by definition, it's a flat 2 chord. Okay, and the 2 chord has to start on the letter B. So we have a B somewhere. So I'll go ahead and put that B. In fact, I'm going to put the B, D, and F here because that'll save us the trouble of having of forgetting anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and put, so we had an A flat was our tonic. Here is our first note. We have a B here. We got to express this A natural in terms of a B. So we have a B double flat. I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. B double flat. All right. Now we're doing a major triad, right? So a major triad has 4 half steps on the bottom. So I have it right here. Here I am. 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts me right here. It's got to be a D of some sort. It's a D flat. Okay, so D flat is already in the key signature. I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and put it anyway. I won't count it wrong if you don't, but you're less likely to make a mistake if you put it there, because now you go off, you go to lunch, you come back, you may forget and think that's a D. Just go ahead and put it. It won't hurt anything. All right, so that was right here, D flat. Now we have to go 3 half steps for the other part of the triad. 1, 2, 3. Puts us at an E, but it's got to be expressed in terms of the letter F. Well, you can see in your keyboard, it's only 1 half step down. It's an F flat, right? And that's all there is to it. It's a lot harder if you do it in your head. If you use this thing, you're a lot less likely to make a mistake. Okay, and this is our correct answer. All right, let's do one. Let's do one in the key of G flat. Woohoo! In G flat major. All right. So for G flat major, we got to have a G flat and a C flat. Okay, so that was A flat. We can forget about this now. We don't need that anymore. It's going to confuse us if we look at it, but anyway, G flat. Oh, you know what? How about this? We'll do it just like if it was an exercise. We'll do a whole new one. B, E, A, D, G, C. We're in G flat. Now, it would work exactly the same way if we were in E flat minor. It doesn't matter. We don't care whether this tonic note is a 1 or a 1. Either way, it's the same thing. That's why I'm not having you do the triad, because that doesn't matter. The Neapolitan, whether it's in a major or minor key, it's the flat 2. So, here's our Neapolitan. Here's our 1. Our 1 tonic is the G flat. And me being the scatterbrain that I am, I'm going to go ahead and put that flat there. Alright, so here we go. You know what I'm going to do. G flat is my starting point. Now, before I even do that, I go ahead and put my note heads, just so I'm not tempted to accidentally call it a G natural or something, okay? Because we're going up a half step from G flat to G. We don't want to call it a G because it's a flat 2, which means it has to be the next letter name up. So we had a G flat here, right? G flat. So I'm going to start me a triad on A. All right. So those are my letter heads, my note heads. Start with G flat. I come up a half step. There I am. It's an A something. It's an A double flat. Remember I told you when there's a flat in the name, you're going to have to deal with a double flat for your Neapolitan, because going up a half step just brings you to the natural of the key you're in, and you're not allowed to call it that. You have to call it the next note name up. So it's a double flat. Double flat. All right. So here we are. We're at A double flat, which is a G. Okay. Now we use our trusty keyboard here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at a B. Well, a B is a C flat. And we have a C here. It's already flat in the key signature. If you want to leave it, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in there. Doesn't hurt anything. And that way, if I have to run to the bathroom or something, I come back, I still remember it's a C flat. All right, now I'm at the C flat. I got to go up 3 half step now, because remember the major triad, 4 on the bottom, 3 on the top. So I'm starting here. 1, 2, 3. It's a D something. It's a D. But it's not a D. It's an E something. So it's an E double flat. And that's what you do. That's what you do. Now, the reason this is important that you get this solid is because next time we're going to really make it a true Neapolitan 6, which means it's inverted, which means the middle note is going to be in the bass. So that D flat, okay, we had B, E. I'm just giving you a preview. Don't do this yet, but I'm just telling you why this is important. This B flat, shoot, I'm on the wrong note here. D flat. The D flat here, we're doing the key of A flat. Neapolitan 6 means it's inverted. I put 6s on your homework, but even though we didn't invert them, we did them in root position. But the next step is we're going to take this note. You don't want to forget that's a flat. That's why I went ahead and put it there. So the D flat is in the bass. In fact, just because I don't want to run out of room, I'm going to move it down an octave. N6. So D flat on the bottom. Okay, that note is on the bottom. The B double flat and the F flat are going to be above it. The B double flat, B double flat and the F flat are going to be on the, okay, so here's our Neapolitan 6. Okay, I just spread it out. You don't have, you could have done it like this if you'd wanted, with the F flat here. Either way, it wouldn't matter, okay? But it's inverted, that's the point. And it's not going to go to a 1, it's going to go to the 5. Neapolitan, just like your augmented 6 chords or a 1-6-4, there are certain chords that are used to set up the 5. And the 5 then sets up the 1. As you know by now, the strongest, most reliable means of establishing a key is the 5-7-1. You hear that 5-1, you know good and well that that is what key you're in. So there are a lot of different things. You've got the augmented, you've got your augmented 6 chords that go out to that 5. The Neapolitan is the same thing. We're going to look at that. In fact, in the video I gave you in Module 1, if you watch it, he shows you, as a previous instructor, shows you how to resolve that Neapolitan 6. But in order to do this correctly, you got to get this part right. You got to get that note right. You got to know what your 1 is so that you know what your 5 is, right? So that you know what your Neapolitan is, and so you know your 1 is an A flat. So this is going to be the E flat. So I'm just giving you a preview what you're going to have to do with this. So we got to make sure you're solid on this. So I'm going to give you some more to do this time. You shouldn't have any trouble doing it if you use this thing and a piece of scratch paper. I don't want to see any mistakes in your next assignment. It's going to be a lot like your last assignment, but I may go ahead and have you invert it, put it in the first inversion. Okay. Just to get you ready for next week when we will be resolving them. Okay? So this is true of anything. I use this when I'm doing harmonic analysis. I don't care what I'm doing. I use scratch paper, and I use this thing if I'm going to have to do counting any intervals, especially when there are enharmonic tones. By enharmonic, I mean this is an F sharp, but it's also a G flat. This is an F double sharp. It's also an A double flat. When you start dealing with those, it's easy to get confused in your brain when you're trying to count up those half steps. Do not fail to use that. I'm telling you, it's your best friend. I use it all the time, and that's why I end up with the right answers. Okay? So, I will be uploading an assignment soon, and it won't be very long. You'll find with me, I respect your time. I'm not going to give you hours and hours and hours and hours of repetition if I think you can demonstrate it, especially when a lot of those things have to do with in some obscure key on some obscure clef that takes as much time to just figure out what those notes are as it does to do the exercise. I care more about you starting on the right note and building that major triad on that correct note. I'm not going to try to throw a bunch of curveballs in there by putting it in some real strange key. I did that this time. I apologize. I put a lot of them that have flats in there. But if that won't even throw you a curveball if you have this thing in front of you. You can be sitting on a bus and do it if you have this. Okay? All right. So I will be uploading, I'm hoping by tonight. I'm a little behind just because we've had so much technological issues. I will be setting up some, this platform that I recorded this on is called Rock Out Loud. And I think I'll probably be doing our one-on-one meetings through Rock Out Loud. I'll send you a link and the classroom code for it. Mainly because Zoom and Studio and the others, I'm sitting at my keyboard. I like to be at my keyboard when I'm talking, in case I need to do a musical example. When Zoom launches or Studio, it launches in my laptop, my first monitor, which is way across the room, and I can't even see what I'm doing. So this one I can pick, you know, if I launch Zoom, I can't drag it to the other monitor like I can most windows. It's not a window. It will not be dragged. I am Zoom. I will not be dragged. You're going to use me where I am, which means I got to bring my laptop all the way over here, which defeats the purpose of having this mini monitor that I'm using to be able to view. So it's just technological stuff, but I think that's how I'm going to do my Zoom, because I want to have the keyboard in front of me. If I need to play a musical example, I can, and that's just the way I am. So anyway, I'm looking forward to working with you too, and thank you so much for your patience. Ta-ta for now.